ग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so welcome all to today's Srimad Bhagavatam Nectar discussion. Okay, so let's continue from our last class. Okay, so now we had the 6 questions asked by Narada to Brahma, right? So now look at Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of conversations and questions after questions, their narration, questions after questions, their narration, right? So how we began? We began Bhagavatam by saying, Sutta Goswami is answering the questions of Naimisharanya. When Naimisharanya, headed by the rishis of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi, asked certain clarifying questions because they were trying to perform the greatest yajna for the welfare of human beings or the welfare of the entire world. So, in that context, when they were asking questions to Sutta Goswami, while answering those questions, he gave the conversational narrations between Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. In that conversational narrations, you will see many sub-narrations. When Parikshit is asking a particular question, especially about in the current context, that is, what is the creation of this material world? How did this material world get created? What is the cause? Who's the cause? So, when answering that question, Sukadeva Goswami talked about the conversation between Narada and Brahmaji. So, like that, you will see many conversations. Sukadeva Goswami will talk about conversation between Maitri Rishi and Vidura. So, like that, many conversations will keep coming up, and that's the conversation that we are understanding. So, why these conversations are great? Because the questions are great. Why the questions are great? Because the person asking the question is great. So, the topic is great, the time, place, circumstances are great, the person's consciousness is great, and his topic is great because everything is focused on Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now we came to this chapter in second canto. This is the fifth chapter, which is more focused on the technical aspects of creation. So when Naradaji asked, he asked this question. So the second sloka. Yeah. He said, Yad Drupam, Yad Adishtanam, Yataha Shrishtam, Idam Prabhu, Yat Samstam, Yat Paramam Yatcha, Tat Tattvam Vada Tattvataha. So we understood Yadrupam is more about, rather than form, it is more about characteristics, the symptoms of manifestation. Then Adhishtanam means what is the background? Why? Hmm? There's a cause and there's an effect. So why? Then Yat Shrishtam means is to create. So who created? How it was created? Then it says then Yat Samstam, right? Yat Samstam refers to conserved here. More from a destructive angle, there is really no destruction of this place. This is unmanifesting and remanifesting, right? Because all the living entities, only the gross matter, which is just energy, gets destroyed, and the living entities, they go back to the Garbha. Again, they're manifested when the new creation happens. So hence it is conserved within the body of Vishnu and remanifestation. Hence it is, Yat Samstam refers to conservation rather than destruction. So then Yacha. So Yacha is refers to what is it composed of? What is all these things made up of? Right? So please explain. So that's the question he asked. Now, after asking this question, he made a Naradaji made a conclusion. What is the conclusion he made? That I, I see you having so much of powers, and I see you that by your intelligence and by your strength and your energy, that you're able to do this creation so wonderfully. So he concluded, or rather than say concluded, he made a conclusive statement that Brahmaji is the creator. Right? So that's where we left and completed the first part of the fifth chapter of second canto. So Brahmaji is going to answer. So while he's answering two things. One, the 6 questions asked by Naradaji. He's also going to answer that you made a conclusive statement that I am the creator and I am the one who's doing all these activities, because that's what you see. And you also concluded that you asked, the follow-up to the question you asked was, if you are the supreme, then why are you performing austerity? Whom are you performing this austerity on? Whom are you meditating on? So if I am the supreme, why will I meditate on something else? That means there is someone supreme than me. Okay. So like that, he asked those questions. And now Brahmaji's turn is to answer. So while he's going to answer, he's also going to answer the questions, the 6 questions asked by Naradaji. That way we will be fully clear of the whole situation. Okay. So text 5.14. Dravyam karma chakalascha swabhavo jiva evacha vasudevat parabrahman nachanyo arthosti tatvataha. See, this is a very, very important sloka, and this is going to be very technical. So you have to be patient and hear through the details. Only then you will understand. Otherwise, you will miss the point. Okay, so let's read the translation, one-to-one meaning and translation. Okay. Dravyam. So dravyam refers to ingredients here. Okay, so here the ingredients are material ingredients. What? Earth, fire, water, air, and sky. Sky is ether. Okay. So that's what dravyam refers to. So the sloka starts with dravyam, karma cha kalascha. That means he's got 3 things he's talking about. Dravyam. Dravyam refers to the 5 material ingredients that we saw. Okay, then karma, right? So karma here is interaction. So we'll see what that karma is, right? So it is the same karma. Karma means action, but we will see what sort of actions that we are talking about. Then he talked about kala. So kala is time, right? And the time is an eternal event because Krishna is kala and Krishna is eternal, and hence time becomes eternal. Okay. Then he says swabhava. Swabhava means one's characteristics, okay, or one's constitutional nature, right? So we ask, no, what means swabhava, so like that, right? So it is the one's constitution. What is the constitutional nature? Here we will see whose constitutional nature that he's talking about. Okay. Then then jiva. So jiva is the living entity, right? So jiva is part of the internal energy of the Lord, while dravyam is part of the external energy of the Lord, and all other things are also acting on the internal and the external energy. So we'll see those differences. Then it says Vasudevat Paro Brahman. So Vasudeva refers to the Supreme Personality of Vasudeva. Then this Paro Brahman means uh, so here it is refers to that Vasudeva is the ultimate, right? And na chanyo arthosti tatvatah. It says that this is the ultimate truth, right? And we will see the meaning of this once we discuss the translation. And I prepared a presentation. I'll show you that also. Okay. So now look at the translation. The 5 elementary ingredients of creation, which is dravyam. The interaction thereof set up by eternal time. So the interaction is the karma, the action. The eternal time is kala. So it means through kala, through setup of time, these interactions happen. Okay. And the intuition or the nature or the characteristics of the Jiva, the individual living beings, are all differentiate parts and parcels of Supreme Personality Godhead. He's saying, even though these 5 elements exist and they're doing different aspects of it, they're all Vasudeva only. Everything is Vasudeva, right? And in truth, there is no other value in them. That means they don't exist without the presence of Vasudeva. If there is no Vasudeva, then there's no meaning to these 5 elements that we're talking about. That's what this translation is trying to tell us. Okay. So what we'll do is I'll just share a small preso. Not a preso, it's a Word document. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, so are you able to see my screen now, this Word document?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Now you see, these are the 5 elements that we talked about. So we'll just understand what are these 5 elements in detail. So Vasudeva is the center, and the 5 elements we talked about, right? Dravyam, then karma, kala, then swabhava, jiva. So that's what the sloka said, right? So what is dravyam? Dravyam refers to these 5 material elements, right? So when Krishna says bhumi rapo nalo vayu kammano buddhi revacha, that means by his Maya Shakti, Krishna created these 5 material elements. Now please understand the question. Now Naradaji asked a question to Brahmaji, the creation of this material world. So he's starting with what is the basic composition of this material world, right? He said the basic composition of this material world consists of these 5 elements. In that 5 elements, he's talking about dravyam as first. So what is it made up of? It's made up of these 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, right? So this, he says, is out of ignorance, right? That means these material elements are completely made of ignorance. They are made up out of the Maya Shakti, the external energy of the Lord. We'll see that in the subsequent slokas. Okay. Then he said, dravyam, look at the sloka. Dravyam karma cha kalascha. Cha is also karma, also kalas also, right? So here karma refers to action, right? Any activity or an action is called karma. But there are 5 types, right? That's what I've listed here. So first is karma is performing an action, doing any activity. Any action is karma. But when you do an activity, it also has an equal reaction. Whatever may be the reaction, but it has an equal reaction, right? So that's the second aspect of karma. Okay. The third aspect of karma is that reaction will give you a result and that is fruitive in nature, right? Whether the reaction could be leading to a bad result or a good result or a simple result or a complicated result, it results in a fruitive action. That means there is some benefit out of it. Benefit or drawback, but there is something to take out of it. That's called a fruitive action. Then this karma is also described in other formats, for example, which is called as prescribed action. What is prescribed action? Prescribed actions are according to these varnas and situation, right? When Krishna said, Chaturvarnam Maya Shishtam, He declared these varnas according to the svabhava, according to the characteristics and thought process of that jiva, right? So prescribed action refers to, for example, a brahmachari. What is prescribed action? Oh, he's a student. His duty is to learn. His duty is to practice austerity. His duty is to practice renunciation. Renunciation means more here from detachment. That means here in a brahmachari state, detachment refers to detach from sense attraction, sense objects, right? So his sense control, how to practice those. So these are all learning, right? So that is his prescribed duty. In a grihastha, the prescribed duty is different. In a vanaprastha, prescribed duty is different. In a sannyasi, prescribed duty is different. Similarly, a brahmana prescribed duty is to Veda Shastra, to learn Vedas, to give the realized knowledge, not information, to give realized knowledge to people. Kshatriya, he's got a prescribed duty. A Vaishya's got a prescribed duty. A Sudra's got prescribed duty. That means that's the fourth aspect of karma. So karma is, one is performing an action. Then karma is also having combination of reactions. Then all those reactions produce a result. That's also another aspect of karma. Then one performing prescribed duties. That's also karma, right? Then you see all these things, they result into some sort of chain of reactions, right? This caused that, that caused that, that caused that, that caused that. You'll see somewhere we touch something, it resulted in something else. A chain of reactions you'll see, right? So you'll see all those things are also karma. In that, of course, we have prohibited duties like vikarma. So we have many things. So he said creation consists of dravya, then karma. Then third is kala, right? So kala is the one that moves all these material elements. So for example, dravya is there, there's an action, but if there's no kala, these two don't mean anything, right? So for example, how to understand kala? So kala is if you just keep your house locked for 2 3 days, then you open, you will see the house is full of dust, right? Because of moment of time, there is an action that got acted onto it, right? So for example, let's say, at least for men, I didn't shave for 10 days. You'll see full of beard grows. I didn't do anything, just that the beard grows. That means for the karma to act, kala is the primary function. So kala makes things to move. Kala makes time that makes to move the material elements and the material interactions. So that's powerful as kala. Okay. Now in this, let's see, before we go further, this dravyam, Krishna says, is created by me. These 5 elements is created to me. It tells in 7th chapter. Okay. Then karmas are also rules that are created by the Lord, which act on the living entities through the help and support of kala and dravyam. Right? So this is also enacted by the Lord. Kala, Krishna says, I am kala, I am time. So this kala is also Vasudeva. Okay, now let's come to Jiva and Swabhava. Now, what is this Swabhava? Swabhava means one's constitutional or one's individual characteristics, right? Sometimes we call it as mindset, right? So why is this person behaving like this? Why is that person in that kind of thought process? Why is that person acting like this? When we see all these things, even though a set of people in a particular location have a common situation to deal with, but individuals act in a different manner, right? So let's take a seva. Now, let's say 5 people are put to Rajbhog, and all 5 are asked to cook, let's say, some payasam. But you'll see, not just the taste, even the way they do it, the way they think, the way they get to it is also different, right? So what the Swabhava does is, the Swabhava is, we have senses and there are sense objects. Each of the senses perceive the sense objects according to their own thought process, according to their own Swabhava. So when the sense object, when the senses, that means my ear or nose, the senses come in contact with the sense object, I acquire impressions. I acquire information. That gets stored as impressions in my heart. So let me repeat again. I have senses, the sense object. Sense object is what the senses are focusing on. So the way I focus on the object, I acquire information and store it in my mind as impressions. Okay. So for example, I may go to a restaurant. I may look at the cleanliness of the restaurant, but another person may look at the setup of the restaurant. Another person may be look at, I want good service quality. Another person may look at, I'm worried about the taste of the food. Another person may say, I'm worried about the price of the food. You see, all are living entities, but based on the senses, how they're interacting with the sense objects is varying. Okay? Is this point clear? How we acquire impressions?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, very good. Now, based on these impressions, I develop desires. Right? Oh, I may say, I want to create a restaurant like this in my heart. So I developed a desire. Another person would say, oh, this food is tasty. I'm desiring so that I prepare the same recipe at my home. Right? So, like that, based on these impressions, I develop desire. And based on the desire, I act on it. Right? When I act on it, that is karma, I get reactions. So, from the starting, from the first point of my mindset, that means when the senses come in contact with the sense objects, acquire information and produce that as impression in my heart, I develop desire and I perform follow through action. All these things are done by the Kala. So you see how these elements are interconnected to each other. And the Jiva is the living entity now. The Jiva is the one who's having this Svabhava, and by the cause of this Dravyam, Karma, and Kala, is able to act on it. Right? So these are the 5 elements that this sloka is talking about. Now, but who is the center of these 5 elements? Vasudeva. Because if not for Vasudeva, Dravyam won't exist. If not for Vasudeva, the actions or time cannot exist. That means, you see, go back to creation. We talked about Brahmaji creates. Even though Brahmaji creates the secondary creation, all are standstill. No objects are moving. No interactions happening even at the molecular, atomic level, nothing. Everything just stands still. Now, when Vasudeva glances it, what he glances, we'll see that later on. When Vasudeva glances it, life comes into these things and interaction happens. So you see, Vasudeva is the center of these 5 elements. Okay, so are you able to get this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so from this you can understand that when we say Vasudeva Sarvamiti, a soul which goes through the process of cleanliness, austerity, and acquisition of knowledge and practice of the knowledge under a guru, the soul is able to understand that whatever I see in this world, there is presence of Vasudeva. Right? So from this we can understand that Vasudeva is directly present and directly not present also. So now what does that mean? We will conclude this with Achinta Bheda Abheda Tattva. What is the difference? We'll see. For example, we'll see here. We'll see what is Abheda Vakya. Abheda Vakya talks about the non-differences between the energies of the Lord. See here, this is Lord is Vasudeva, and all these 5 are energies. For example, Jiva is Lord's internal energy, while others are external energy. Right? Aparayamitasthanyam prakriti vidyame param jiva bhuta mahabaho yaha edam daryate jagat. So Krishna says that Jiva is my internal potency. But he has the ability to live in the internal potency or an external potency. Hence, he becomes marginal in nature.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
repeat that one point? You said the cleanliness and the acquisition of knowledge, that sequence of events.
Here in Swabhava.
Yes, Prabhu. Cleanliness and hearing, Prabhu.
No. See, for example, when we have senses, right? We have senses.
Yes.
We have knowledge senses and knowledge acquiring senses. Okay. So when these senses, they interact with this material world, they have material objects, sense objects. Okay. They get information from these objects. So for example, when I see a tennis match, I'm able to see the players, I see the ball moving, I see the bat moving, I see many things. So through the eyes, I've acquired knowledge, information. And that event of tennis match sits in my heart as impressions. Okay. Now, any information that sits in the heart need to be either erased or need to be put into some use. So what this jiva, without knowledge, he acquires developed desires from that impressions. Amazing impressions that we get. So for example, from this tennis match, what desire I'm producing? I also want to play tennis. I also want to hit the ball. I also want to dress up like a sports player. I also want to buy that bat. See, from that impression, I produce desire. Right? So when there is desire in the heart, okay, the three modes of material nature gives us that opportunity to perform that action to enjoy the desire. That's the nature of the jiva. Jiva wants to enjoy this place. And that becomes his swabhava. Is this clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. But first thing you said cleanliness, no? Why did you use that?
No, I took the example of a restaurant. Even five of us go to a restaurant. Each of us may see different aspect of the restaurant. That is according to the mindset and the impressions that we have carried forward from various other interactions.
Okay.
So I took example of cleanliness, taste, the ambience, like that I took examples.
Okay, Prabhu. It's clear, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So now you can see what is up. Okay. Achinta Beda Abeda Vakya or Tattva. Okay. Now we'll see what is Abeda Vakya. What is Abeda? So Abeda means explaining the non-differences between the energies of the Lord. See, you see, these are different energies of the Lord, even though they're looking different, but you can say they're all energies of the Lord. Right? So, for example, there are two concepts you should understand: energetic and energy. For example, sun is energetic. Energetic means what? Energetic means source of energy. That means where all energy is encompassed. And from the source, energy can manifest. And that is called energetic. Energetic produces an energy. What is energy? Energy is a capacity to perform an action, either a chemical action or a physical action or whatever, consciousness action, whatever it may be. That is energy. That means two things: energetic and energy. Now, you should understand the energy cannot exist without the energetic. That means because energetic is a source. Same time, when there is energetic, the energy will manifest out of it. That is the nature of energetic. So hence, energetic and energy are two different, but they're one and the same. Right? Can you understand the difference of the difference that exists or non-difference that exists in energy and energetic?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Can I repeat that once again for your understanding?
Sure, Prabhu. Okay.
So, for example, when we have sun is called energetic because it's source of energy. It has enough amount of energy. And it produces light energy. It produces heat energy. It produces several rays, ultraviolet, this ray, this rays, all those. So it means it produces different kinds of energies. These energies exist because of the source, energetic. Right? So in one way, you can say they're non-different. Energy and energetic are not different. Why? Because energetic is composition of energy, and from this energetic, energy comes. But can I say energy are one and the same? No. In another context, I can't say, because energetic may contain, let's say, 1,000 watts of energy. But if I take energy, it may have only 1 watt of energy. That means, even though they're one and the same, but simultaneously different also. So that's what this Veda and Abheda are trying to teach us. So look at what I've written here. The Abheda Vakya describe the non-different nature between energies of the Lord. Right? That means when Krishna says Parasha Shaktir, I have unlimited number of energies. But in one aspect, they're all coming from the same Lord, and they're just difference in colors or difference in character. But they're all. So hence, there's no difference between them. Okay? So to understand that simultaneously, this energy and energetic are same in one aspect, but they're also different. Why? Because the strength possessed by one packet of energy is definitely not equatable to the energetic, because energetic is the source, right? Shakti, Shaktiman. Shaktiman produces Shakti. But I cannot say, even though characteristically they're one and the same, I cannot say Shakti is equal to Shaktiman. Right? So this is called Abheda Vakya. Is Abheda Vakya very clear? Unless you are very clear on Abheda Vakya, I will not progress further.
Yes, Prabhu. Qualitatively one, no, Prabhu, and quantitatively different.
Okay, not qualitatively now. What I'm trying to tell you is the ability for Lord to demonstrate no difference between him and the energies, simultaneously producing a difference also, is called Abheda Bheda Vakya. Okay? So that's the example I'm giving. So now I'll take example of Advaitavadis. What Advaitavadis say? Everything is one. They keep saying, Sharvam Kalvidam Brahman. Means everything is Brahman, everything is one. Right? Why they're saying that? Because this Abheda Vakya says there's no difference between energies. Whether it is source or energy, all same. Because there's no difference, everything is one, hence Advaita manifested. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman. Is this clear why Advaita manifested? Because this is how some people perceived all the energies in totality as one, singular. Okay. Then what happens? Then came Dvaitam. What is Dvaitam? No. There is a difference between the energy and the energetic. The Jiva, which is energy of the Lord, and the Lord. Both are not same. They're different. They're two separate. First of all, let's understand they're two separate. They're not one. So that's what Dvaitam said. So from Advaitam, which became singularity, now came the differences, which differentiated, saying that not everything is singular, there are differences. What is the difference? You cannot say the source and the result of source is same. You cannot say energy and energetic is same. Jiva is created by that Lord. You cannot say Jiva is same as the Lord. So they are two separate entities. So let's recognize that. So that's what Dvaitam came. Now, when Dvaitam came as a expansion, or rather than saying expansion, we'll call it as advancement over Advaitam. But there were more clarity that was required. So hence, Ramanujacharya, who's also sort of a Shaktya avatar of Lord, he was sent to clarify. What is to clarify? No, this Dvaitam has characteristics. Okay, so before Ramanujacharya, came, let me give you some history of Advaitam. Okay, now Lord said, Vedaischa sarvais ahameva vedyam. What does Vedaischa sarvais ahameva vedyam means? The Vedas have many detailing. But by understanding and practicing the Vedas very detailedly, you will conclude to one aspect that Vasudeva is the ultimate. Realizing Vasudeva as ultimate is the conclusion of the Vedas. Okay. To realize that Vasudeva, These Vedas propound many, many steps to realization. Some of the steps are what? Perform sacrificial ceremonies. Yadnat karmano yatra lokoyam karma bandhana. So when we perform yajna, we get detached from karma. We get detached from this material world. Yes, people understood that. Oh, let's perform yajna. But when a sect of people without the proper knowledge of performance of yajna, what they do, they perform yajna in order to get some fruitive benefits. Because every karma, we talked about 5 elements of karma. One of the elements of karma is to get fruitive benefit. So, as Kala progressed, people forgot the source of knowledge, just kept on killing animals called as sacrificial activities. So, when the sacrificial activity of killing animals was going on, it was deviating from the purpose of Vedas. So, what Lord did? Lord did, okay, it's time that I have to advent in some form so that I can stop this nonsensical animal killing just for, sense gratification, just by quoting the Vedas. So what? Keshavadhrita Buddha Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare, right? Dashavatara sloka. So Lord advented as Buddha, and what Buddha taught us? Buddha taught us ahimsa. What does ahimsa means? Himsa means to cause suffering. Ahimsa means not to cause suffering. Oh, in the process of our, following the Vedas or something like that, let us not do animal killing, things like that. So keep all the Vedas to the side, follow humanity. So the whole world moved towards ahimsa. That means do not perform any Vedic killing and things like that. And then they practiced nirvana and all those concepts. But that was a plan of the Lord so that people do not deviate in the path of sacrificial offerings, quoting Vedas as an example. But what Veda says? Veda's conclusion is ahameva vedyam, to realize me, not to keep performing sacrificial ceremonies and keep enjoying sense gratification. That should not be done. So hence, Lord Buddha came. So that means the Vedas are supposed to take us in a particular direction in our life, but the people that took the knowledge of the Vedas in an opposite direction in our life. So hence the Lord had to get the consciousness of all the living entities back in track. So hence Lord Buddha was coming. So after Buddha, we had the situation, okay, now animal killing is stopped, but the Vedas are the ultimate because Vedas are the one that can understand Krishna. So that has to be reintroduced, and hence Shankara, who's Lord Shiva himself, was sent to explain the importance of Shastric knowledge. Hence Shankaracharya, he came and propounded the philosophy of Advaitavada. Because to talk about higher aspects of Veda Shastra is impossible. You cannot jump from first standard to 12th standard in one shot. You have to go step by step. So he introduced the first Advaitavada, where he said Shakti and Shaktiman are all one. It's all energy in totality. He talked about singularity. Hence the advent of Advaitavada by Shankaracharya came. Right? But is that the ultimate knowledge? No. Dvaitam. So then the Dvaitam came to show there is a difference between Lord and his Lord's energy. So you cannot say energy of the Lord is same as the Lord. After Dvaitam, then came Ramanujacharya, Shakti Avashara Avatar of the Lord. He came and said, no, there must be more detailing to Dvaitam. What is the detailing? He said Vishishta Dvaitam. What is Vishishta? Some Vishesha is there. You cannot say that there are two entities, the Jiva and the Paramatma, both are same, but there will be something special about that Paramatma. Some Vishesha is there about Paramatma. Hence he said Vishesha Advaita. You cannot say both are one and the same. But Madhvacharya, he came further and he gave No, it is Dvaitam, but I'll give you more detailing. What is the detailing? The potency of these two living entities, the energy and the energetic, the Jiva and the Lord, the elements and the Lord, the Creator, there is difference. He gave detailing on the difference. Thereby, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman is being misused, and these acharyas, they gave us complete detailing. Okay? After Madhvacharya came, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He gave this Abheda Beda Tattva. Right? Please understand. Abheda Beda Tattva. What is Abheda? Abheda means there is no difference between energy and the energetic. Simultaneously, there is also difference between energy and the energetic. He said both exist simultaneously. So that's called Abheda Beda Tattva means truth. Now, why is it called Achintya? Because it's inconceivable. It is not possible to understand by ordinary people. Unless one is practicing, one is chanting the names of the Lord, he cannot understand these things in detail. And hence, Mahaprabhu gave Achinta Beda Abheda Tattva.
Prabhu,
Okay.
I have a doubt here.
So let me complete. So the conclusion is that Lord and Lord's energies that we talked about here, they simultaneously exist with the difference of duality and without difference also. That's what it means. So, whichever cult who are able to follow the tattva of Lord Chaitanya is able to understand this very clearly, are going to go back home, back to Godhead, to Golokavritta. Okay. The best example Lord Chaitanya gives is ocean, rivers, and presence of fish. Okay. What does Achinta Advaitam teaches us? Advaitam teaches us that all the rivers which manifest from different locations, they flow and then join this major ocean, they all become one. Okay? See, everything is singular now. But no, there is detailing. What is the detailing? The living entities who are all various aquatics or fish in these rivers, even though they're part of those rivers, when these rivers flow and merge into this ocean, these aquatics, they continue to exist in this ocean by their own identity. So that means whether a living entity goes back home and say, I'm going to be part and parcel of my Lord and to serve him, his identity continue to exist in service to the Lord. Which means if there are 10 people in this room, each one of us have a different identity and a particular unique relationship with the Lord, Vasudeva. So hence, the difference between Vasudeva and me continue to exist. Difference between Vasudeva and all other living entities continue to exist simultaneously. That is what is the complete Vakya we have to understand. And that's what the first explanation that Brahmaji is explaining. Okay. So now we'll take some questions before we go to the next sloka. No questions?
So, Prabhu, see here, it is what it means that the look and feel may be the different, but look and feel may be the same, but the attributes and characters will be entirely different.
And quantity.
And quantity.
Not quantity, strength. Strength, not even strength, potency.
Yeah. Understood,
Okay.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. So we can take one Shila from Govardhan and one rock from any other place. Both of them may have the same size, same weight, but the potency, the characteristics, the qualities are different.
Yeah, but they look the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Understood.
The Vigraha is also made up of stone and metal. There is also stone and metal that exist ordinarily in the external world, but there's a difference. Okay,
Thank you,
good.
Prabhu.
Yeah, others, are we clear on this topic? Because this becomes the basis of me going to explain the details of material creation.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Ah.
This influence of time, Prabhu. They say in the spiritual world there is no influence of time. So
Yeah, correct.
everything is static there, Prabhu.
No, it's not
So many
static. It is not static. Activity goes on. Activity goes on because it's the kala that makes activity to happen. But it does not influence. It does not influence the age or the transformation on the rupam or the formation or the structure of a personality, whether it's a plant or a animal or a human being or what it may be. They will possess spiritual entities. They will possess spiritual bodies. So what does that mean? So for example, in the material world, let's say I gave you one portion of pulao to eat. So now when you eat, you see your stomach gets filled or your taste buds are saying satisfied. Said, I can't take this anymore because there's a limitation on the quantifying aspect of it. Okay. But in the spiritual one, the spiritual energy, there's no limit to any of these aspects. How much ever you want to eat, you can eat. There's no question of getting filled up. Or the material elements, they get filled up, emptiness filled up, and things like that. And spiritual element, there's no filling up and emptiness. So that's the difference that you would see between here and there. And hence, what happens? A person does not grow. Like we talked about example of beard. He does not get beard and grow old and die or anything like that because spiritual bodies are eternal. They are shashvatam. So time influence only activity, but time does not influence other elements in the spiritual plane. That's what you have to conclude.
Yes. So time only degrades everything in the material.
In the material world.
Like that we
In
are
spiritual world, it does not. Time only acts on the activity. What is the activity? For example, Krishna and Radha came to Kunja, right? So you will perform certain activities to enhance their leela. Okay. Now that time acted as an activity there. But again, after some time, Krishna went to Govardhan and with the cows and things like that, that activity will go on. But time does not influence any other factors in the spiritual world.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's little
Hare
difficult.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Prabhu. In continuation with Mataji's this thing, Prabhu, Krishna is always 16 years, 14 years, and all the other entities also.
Everyone also same age. No one grows
Same
up.
age.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Not only everyone, everything. So when we say vancha kalpataru yascha, we say kalpataru, right? Right. So that kalpataru is actually a kalpataru tree. It is a benediction giving tree. Whatever boon you ask, it keeps giving. So, for example, that tree, which is in the spiritual world, it does not mean beyond a point it just grows too much in size, old, and then it dies. Nothing happens, just eternal. Kalpataru is eternal. But here, a tree will grow to size, and beyond a certain time and point, it will die. But that doesn't happen there. That means not only human beings, anything in the spiritual world is shashvatam, is eternal. Time does not influence it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji. My question was with respect to knowing that energy and energetic are different. Is it
Simultaneously different and same.
okay? Simultaneously different and same, right? Agreed. Um, so my question is that to understand the energetic, in this case, Krishna, um, is it good to say that we have to understand him through his energies?
Yes.
Because my understanding is that without you understand without perceiving the energies that he has, with which he possesses, which we can perceive, we can understand Krishna better.
Very simple.
Or
Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritah. So what does the sloka tells is you can understand a spiritual entity only through the spiritual energy. Lord Vasudeva is transcendental. To understand Vasudeva, you have to go into the transcendental plane. That's why we chant the transcendental mantra. We practice sadhana, which is transcendental in nature. And that's what makes us to move to the transcendental plane. Once we go to the transcendental plane, we can experience Vasudeva. That's why the sloka says, who is a Mahatma? Who has taken the divine energy of the Lord. Mahatma nastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. That means he's taken the shelter of the divine energy of the Lord, and hence he becomes a Mahatma. For us, if we don't take the divine energy of the Lord, we continue to remain in the material plane. That means we take only the shelter of Maya Shakti. In Maya Shakti, we only experience duality. With the experience of duality, we are influenced by three gunas. If you are influenced by Sato, Raja, and Tamas, we will only see material understanding. By material conception and material thought process, you cannot understand Vasudeva, who is fully transcendental. That's the point.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. So energy also is split into two, as you rightly said. It's material and transcendental. So it's good to be in the transcendental plane and not to get engrossed.
That should be your duty.
Should be. Yes.
Not good. Should be. Why? Because Jiva is transcendental. Jiva, we said, in these five things, I talked about Jiva as part of the internal energy of the Lord. If you are a spirit soul, that means if you are a transcendental entity, why should you be associated with material entity? You should be associated only with transcendental energy.
Okay.
Is it clear? So hence, what Prabhupada teaches, saying that there's no point in going to university, school, and learning these material things as the core aspect of our life, because it's a waste. You need them to take care of your material life. Because, for example, if I have to live for, let's say, 8 years, I'm just throwing up an example. For 8 years, if I have to live in this material world. I have to eat this food, I have to use a sofa, chair, table here, and things to live. So, Prabhupada said utility is the principle. Sustain using this material energy, but develop your consciousness and apply your consciousness on spiritual energy. That means what are you thinking? What are you speaking? What are you doing? Should be all on the transcendental plane. Kayena vacha manasendreva buddhi atmano anushmara svabhava karomi yete chakalam parashmai Sriman Narayaneti samarpayami. That means whatever you possess, you use it in the transcendental plane. You use the material energy just for your bodily maintenance sustenance. That's it. But everything of yours should be applied in transcendental plane. That's what all the slokas are saying.
Prabhuji. Thank you for this nice
explanation. So don't again and again expand your material activities, expand your spiritual activities. That should be the real understanding. So let's say I have 1 crore as opulence. Don't apply the 1 crore to expand on material business. Apply that 1 crore of rupees to expand my spiritual consciousness. Whatever it takes to expand that, spend money there. So that should be the goal. That should be the essence.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay, good. So now we will go back to our slokas. Okay, so now he asked Yadrupam. So now we understood Yadrupam. In Yadrupam, we understood the 5 elements, the basic characteristics of this material world. Okay, so this material world consists of Kala, it consists of Dravya, it consists of Karma, it consists of Swabhava, and it has Jiva. That's all. There's nothing else, he said, Brahmaji. That's the first question he answered, Yadrupam. So is it clear? Okay. So now, now we'll go to the next sloka. Sloka number 15 and 16 are interconnected slokas. So we've read this sloka also in second chapter of first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Narayana Paraveda Deva Narayanam Gajaha Narayana Paraloka Narayana Paramakaha. We'll read the next sloka also.
Devapara yoga.
Narayana para yoga, Narayana param tapaha, Narayana param jnanam, Narayana paragatihi. So this loka, where is my this one? It's here. I'm sharing this also. So for all of you. Okay. See, this is Canto 1, 2, 28, 29. Same thing. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makaha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriyaha, Vasudeva param Jnanam, Vasudeva param Tapaha, Vasudeva paro Dharmo, Vasudeva para Gatihi. Finally ends with Vasudeva para Gati. Gati means what? Goal, destination. My destination, my goal should be Vasudeva, nothing else in this life. Don't even imagine of anything else in this material world. Just imagine of Vasudeva as the goal. All of things will fall in place. Okay, so let's see the meaning of that now. Okay, so what is Narayana Para Veda? So what is Para? Para means is the cause, is the cause or the purpose, the meant for, right? So that's what it means. So Narayana is Supreme Lord. Okay, so Para Veda means Veda. Purpose of Veda is dependent on Narayana. The purpose of Veda is existing for Narayana. The purpose of Veda is to teach us who's Narayana. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivisto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarves ahameva vedyam. So Narayana is Paraveda. Deva Narayano Angajaha. Okay, Anga Ajaha. So, for example, Pankaja. Pankaja, when we say, Aja refers to born out of. So, Pankaja means lotus born out of. Right? So, that's what it means. So, for example, Deva Narayana Angajaha. So, for example, Deva means what? They are demigods. Who are demigods? Demigods are born out of Anga. Angajaha means born out of the body of Narayana. Right? So, that's what it means. Then, Narayana Paraloka. So, for whichever loka, loka means different places, different planets, different aspects of creations, whatever is existing. The topmost of all the lokas is, first of all, there are two meanings. First is all these lokas belong to Narayana, are dependent on Narayana, whether it's material or spiritual world. Second, the topmost of the lokas is the place where Narayana lives. Right? So, you should have your destination as Narayana. That means you'll also have the destination as the topmost of the planets. So, you'll get topmost of those things. That's what it means. Then, Parayana Maka. Maka means sacrifice. We refer to Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasham Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. So, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasham, right? All the Yajna, all the Tapasha, Narayana is the enjoyer. So, all the Yajnas and Tapasas exist because of Narayana. They exist for Narayana. That's what it means, right? So, that means anything, whether it's the Devatas, whether it's Veda Shastra, whether these places, what we see and what we don't see, all the activities and sacrifice, yajna, tapasa, austerity that we do, everything is for the purpose to please Narayana. That's what he says. Now, why he says this, Loka? Because at one point in time, Naradaji told Brahma that, hey, you are the creator. So, I'm amazed by you. But why is that you are sitting in austerity and do? That means, is there someone superior to you? Is what the comment he made. So, to clarify that, no, I am only a Visarga, but he is Sarga. He is the one who creates. I only do manifestation within that. So, what is that example? For example, there is clay, there is mud on the soil. A pottery, whatever he is called as, pottery guy. What does he do? He just takes that mud and gives a shape to it. Right? But the mud, the soil, the clay, the wheel, the hands, the intelligence, the knowledge, everything is given by Vasudeva. So that means Vasudeva is the original creator. I just act on it to create the secondary, is what Brahmaji is trying to explain. And hence, you can understand the difference between Brahmaji and difference between Narayana. So he is trying to explain in this manner. Okay. Now, we'll go to the next aspect also. Brahmaji is trying to tell Naradaji that Vasudeva, that means Narayana whom you're seeing, is where, now look at, starting from the creation. Yatechamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is the real Nayaka, right? So Krishna manifested. Krishna manifested into Balramji. So Balramji manifested into quadruple expansion. Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Shankarshana, Vasudeva. Okay. From the first quadruple expansion came the Leela avatar. And the second quadruple expansion again came. From there came Purusha avatars. The first Purusha avatar is Narayana. Purusha avatar means Narayana. From Narayana manifests into Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu is also called Karanadaksha Vishnu. So Karanadaksha Vishnu to Garbhodaksha Vishnu. From Garbhodaksha Vishnu's navel, one lotus sprouted. From that lotus, one primary jiva was created or manifested, and through the primary jiva, all of the jivas were manifested. And how many jivas were there? Unlimited. So, out of the unlimited jivas, I am one of the jiva who's empowered by the Lord to create this visarga. That's what Brahmaji is trying to tell. So, he's telling how insignificant I am, and this is my role. So, he is clearly clarifying the position of himself with respect to Narayana. So, that's what the meaning of this sloka is. Okay? This is clear?
Prabhu, this sloka is slightly different from the Vasudeva Paravedana, Prabhu.
Yes. But the meaning is more or less same. Yeah.
A little confusing.
Now, just to replace Narayana with Vasudeva, you'll get more or less same.
The word Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramaka, there comes. Here, Narayana Paraloka, Narayana Para.
Here, what is it referring there? There we are telling conclusion. That means that's a Bhakti Yoga sloka. In Bhakti Yoga sloka, is Param means it is supreme, topmost. So Vasudeva is the topmost. Like that it goes. But here it says this Veda is dependent on Narayana. Loka, all of these lokas are dependent on Narayana. Here is more of an explanation of position of Narayana. There is Bhakti Yoga. That's the difference.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the next sloka, 5.16. See, today just 2-3 slokas because explanation so much, it went off too much. Okay. 16. Narayana para yogo, Narayana param tapaha, Narayana param jnanam, Narayana paragatihi. Right? So yoga, whatever yoga practices you do, yoga means connection, whichever yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Nishkama Karma yoga, right? Hatha yoga, Raja yoga, everything, whatever yoga, finally Bhakti yoga, everything depends on Narayana. Is for the pleasure of Narayana. Okay? Tapaha means all your tapasyas, right? Jnanam, whatever knowledge that we possess, starting from Veda Shastra knowledge to everything that we have, right? That is jnana. Whatever knowledge it may be, direct or indirect, is Narayana. Then finally, he says, Narayana is my ultimate destination. Okay. So here, ultimate destination refers to that is my life depends on Narayana, and I can get salvation or moksha only because of Narayana, not because of anything else. Right? That's what the sloka is trying to conclude. So, if we take a shelter of Narayana, then my ultimate end goal will be to reach Narayana's lotus feet. And by his causeless mercy, I may live and serve him for his pleasure. Right? So that's how it goes. Okay. Now let's come to this sloka, 5.17. So now 5.17 is very important. So we're going to take another 15 minutes at least to explain 5.17. So please be patient. 5.17 and 5.14 are interlinked. So now we will see how they get connected. Okay. 5.17. Tasyapi drastu ishasya kutasta yakilatmanaha shrijyam shrijami shrishtoham ikshayaiva abhichoditaha. Now look at the meaning of this sloka. Very, very wonderful. Now he is giving more clarity. How I am doing Visarga and how Narayana is doing Sarga. And what is the position? He is giving that clarity here. Okay. Now, Tasya, his. Api certainly, Drastuhu of the seer, Ishashya of the controller, Kutas, Kutas, Kutastya of the one who is over everyone's intelligence, Akila Atmanaha of the super soul, Shijyam, that which is already created. Shijami, do I discover? That means Shijami is I'm working on something which has already been created. I'm just giving different colors and things like that. That's all. Shishtaka created. Aham myself, Ikshaya, by glance over, Eva exactly, Abhichoditaha, being inspired by him. Okay. So what we can understand out of this is inspired by him only. Who's telling? Brahma is telling Narada. Inspired by him means him refers to Vasudeva or Narayana. Inspired by him, inspired by Vasudeva. I discover what is already created by him. Narayana, under his vision as all pervading super soul, and I also am created by him only. This is my position. He's clarifying his position to Naradaji very clearly. So that means what? When the lotus flower sprouted came, all the creation aspect was already done, ready. I just took it. And I probably gave some green color to it, some yellow color to it, and said square shape, round shape. Someone is not muted, why? Yeah. Okay. So I give some shape and I just take the jivas from the garbha of Narayana and insert into according to his karma, kala, and his activities. That's all. Right. That's what I did. And not only I'm doing all these the creation, for me also, my birth also was because of him. This is what he is concluding. Right? Okay. So in the first sloka, what he says, my cause of existence is Narayana, and my actions are also because of Narayana, and I am not the originator, I am only a secondary creator, is what he is concluding. Okay. So we'll read this purport. Can someone read the purport? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Read.
Even Brahma, the creator of the universe, admits that he is not an actual creator, but he is simply inspired by the Lord, Narayana, and therefore creates under his superintendence those things already created by him, the super soul of all living entities. The two identities of soul, the super soul and the individual soul, are admitted to be in the living entity. Even by the greatest authority of the universe, the super soul is the supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, whereas the individual soul is the eternal servitor of the Lord. The Lord inspires the individual soul to create what is already created by the Lord, and by the God will of the Lord, and discoverer of something in the world is accredited as the discoverer.
Yeah. So Prabhupada gives example of Columbus, right? So people gave a great award to Columbus saying that, oh, you discovered America. But who really created America? America was already existing there. He just went and rediscovered it, right? So all the scientists today, they take these material elements, okay? For example, if you take a molecule, they found, oh, the molecule has many atoms, and each atom has a positron, a neutron, and a electron, right? So there's a nucleus, there's a positive charge, there's a negative charge, and that constitutes an atom. They said they discovered that. But who created this atom? That means the Lord, by his energy, already created all these things. We just took that study of it and we said, oh, it is green in color, it is blue in color, it is square in shape. That's what we say. Right? And in the material world, what happens? Because they don't understand Narayana, they've kept Narayana away. They only saw this person called, for example, this Columbus, and gave word to him. They did not recognize Narayana. Why? Because their consciousness is only material. They cannot see transcendental activity. They can only see material things. And hence, that's what is this world and science about. Okay? Is this clear? Okay, I want someone else to read another yellow, starting here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
shall I read, Prabhu?
Read.
From purport, Prabhu.
Yeah, here, Lord Brahma. See what
Lord
I
Brahma
mean?
is a great devotee of the Lord. Therefore, he has been empowered or inspired by the Lord to create such universe as the one manifested before us. The Lord also inspired Arjuna to fight in the field of
Kurukshetra. Okay. Read this. Read the next.
Yeah. Kurukshetra. Should I continue, Prabhu?
Read the highlight here.
Highlight. Devotees like Brahma and Arjuna do not do anything on their own account, but as fully surrendered souls, they always await indications from the Lord. Therefore, they attempt to do something which appears very wonderful to ordinary vision. One of the Lord's names is Urukrama, or one whose actions are very wonderful and are beyond the imagination of the living being. So, the actions of his devotees sometimes appear very wonderful due to the direction of the Lord. Beginning from Brahma, the topmost intelligent living entity within the universe, down to the smallest ant, every living entity's intelligence is overseen by the Lord in his transcendental position as the witness of all actions. The subtle presence of the Lord is felt by the intelligent man who can study the psychic effects of thinking, feeling, and willing. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Hare.
Krishna.
So when we read Sarvadharman Pariktajye Mamyekam Sharanam Vraja, when we here recite this sloka, what should we understand? We should understand that everything in this world is Vasudeva. For an event to happen, not to happen is Vasudeva. We generally become very anxious. We become very, lamenting that something is not happening, something is like this, something is like that, because of our material conceptions of thoughts. But a devotee who's a surrendered soul will know that every event that is happening in my life is because of action of Vasudeva. He will not accelerate, he will wait with patience until it happens. The best example is Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada knew that every action that is happening in his life is got the hands of Lord. His wife leaving away him, hands of Lord. His pharmacy business falling away, hands of Lord. He meeting a Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura through an accidental arrangement of his friend is by the plan of the Lord. Everything he saw is plan of the Lord. When he made attempts, for example, he went to Allahabad and he made some attempts. He created some league of devotees. It failed. He knew it was hands of Vasudeva. Everything was hands of Vasudeva. Because he saw Vasudeva's hands in every instance of his life, his faith increased and his determination was non-stop, continue, because he knew success would come one day. When he prepared the Back to the Head magazine, the first time it was all in papers. It was loose sheets, and he was trying to give like notice. There was one person who came and said, "Oh, Swamiji, why you want to do like this? Why don't you put everything in a book and give so people will have the book for some time? Otherwise, if it is single sheets, they'll just throw it away." Then Prabhupada said, "Oh, it is my spiritual master. It is that Vasudeva who's speaking to this man and giving." See, he attributed that also to Vasudeva. Then what he did? He made books. The books was not selling, but he knew that it is act of Vasudeva. Everything that he knew in his life, it was the hands of the Lord. That's why Prabhupada was very persistent in his life. Again and again, he went on with his mission, right? Lord had to make arrangement. Lord wanted all the time to be very favorable for Prabhupada. Place, time, people, policies, various things should be very favorable. Lord waited. When things became, he arranged all those things very quickly. Then he put Prabhupada and said, "Okay, now go do it." So Prabhupada performed that act, and Prabhupada became glorious. In just a matter of 12 years, he finished the whole thing, the mission of the Lord, and he went back home. Right? So you should see, you should learn from this that how we should mend our life. Anything that happens in our life is hands of Vasudeva. Our relationship with someone, our friendship with someone is all hands of Vasudeva. Whatever is happening, loss or profit, strength or weakness, goodness or badness, is hands of Vasudeva. Please understand this. If you understand this, then you understood Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. If you've not understood this, you may be doing the greatest Rajbhog Seva or deity garland Seva or deity dressing Seva as a pujari stand in front of all the time, but you will never get bhakti. Only if you see hands of the Lord in every instance, every second of your life, then you will get bhakti. So you will surrender. You will become humble. You will become insignificant. That is the point. So please meditate on this. Okay. So what we will do is the sloka number 18, 19, 20. These three are interconnected. Okay. So how are they interconnected? They're interconnected like this. For example, sloka number 18 talks about the Lord is the creator of Maya Shakti. From Maya Shakti, we get Trigunas. So that's the first explanation Brahmaji gives to Naradaji. So what he says, Lord has many Shaktis. Out of that many Shaktis, this one Shakti is called Maya Shakti. Using this Maya Shakti, he created this material world, and this Maya Shakti constitutes of three gunas. That is, separation of this Maya Shakti into three types, characteristics. Rajas, Tamas, Sat. So that's what he will first explain to Brahmaji explains to Narada. Second, he explains these three modes are the cause that they bind jivas. They control the jivas. Right? So, for example, look at it. Why they bind the jivas is because he makes the jiva to get attached to the product of the three modes of material energy. Okay? So, biggest attachment for us. With great, this thing that I had a child. So, we get attached to the child. We think, oh, he or she is part of me. It is my energy. It is my this one. But we don't see that she or he is property of Vasudeva. So you see, so much attachment. Starting from our, that means whatever we are part of, we get attached so much. And because of attachment, the trigunas, they bind us in this material world. So attachment causes material binding, bonding, and detachment causes liberation. Let me repeat this again. Attachments to various elements and activities in the material world causes bondage, and detachment to these material activities and elements in this material world causes liberation. That's what Brahmaji is explaining to Narada. And finally, he's saying, because the jivas are bonded by these three modes of material nature, these three modes of material nature are coming like an umbrella over their head. They're coming as rays in front of their eyes. They are like curtains. Maya javanika channam ajnadokshajam avyayam. So, because they're coming as curtains in front of us, the jiva cannot see who's behind them, cannot see the hands of the Lord, and hence jiva cannot perceive the Lord. Jiva has forgotten the Lord. The jiva has got disconnected with the Lord. However, what the Lord does, the Lord takes what is called as a secondary route or alternative route. That's why he is called Banke Bihari. What is the alternative route? Which cannot be perceived at all. What he does? He sends knowledge about him. He sends his books. He sends his acharyas. He sends his Shaktiman. He comes himself as different forms and different route to come to the same jiva and educate him. See, you are bound by these three modes of gunas. How to get out of these three modes of gunas? And you will be able to see me again. Right? So he teaches that. That means how the souls are bonded, and the Lord gives the solution for coming out of the bondage. Right? So that's what is explained in the next 3 slokas. So which will take time for us to go into the details to explain. So what we'll do is we'll take these 3 slokas and continuation in the next class, and we can go in very great detail. Okay? Daivihi esha guna mayi mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam yetam tarantite. That's it. Lord concludes. Okay. So we will end the class here today, and we'll take questions, if any, so that we are very clear as to what we've understood in today's class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam for the wonderful session, Prabhu. I have understood that even whatever Brahma, who is the primary Jiva, is also created by the Lord. And I see all the energies, wherever I see everything is because of the Lord. But I have one thing, Prabhu. Discovery is one which is already there. Columbus discovered America, they said. That means America was already there. Nobody had entered there, or nobody knew it. That's all.
Nobody created.
But it is not created. But Thomas Alva Edison, he invented electricity. Invented is something new. It was not known to people till then.
No. Pause. Electricity, he did not create electricity. Electricity was already existing. Okay. So, for example, it's like this, Prabhu. There was a rock.
Yes, Prabhu.
A sculpture, he took that rock and gave a shape to the rock.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, without the rock, do you think without the instruments and tools, without the intelligence, without the hands, do you think the sculpture would have created that doll?
No, never.
So, who is the creator?
So, creator is the Lord only, but how we should relate or retell?
That's why I gave the example of a potter, pottery man. So,
Yes,
we are just finding the details and giving a shape, color to it. We are not doing anything beyond it.
yes, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranams. Wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, as you said, material losses and difficulties we are learning. But should we be anxious about our spiritual goals? Like I'm not able to get Guru Ashraya initiation. Is it due to my karmas or any other problem?
Time is the answer. When you're ready, Lord will pick you up.
Yes, sir. So should I be anxious
but
or
once
should I be
again,
relaxed?
let me complete. Okay? When you're ready, the Lord will avoid you. But you cannot say that, okay, when I'm ready, Lord will only avoid, so I'll just keep quiet.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So, for example, Lord has given all the ingredients, right, to make breakfast for me. I cannot say, if Lord wants my stomach to get filled, let him only make that idli, dosa, and puri and fill my stomach. No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
God has given the facility and the intelligence. I have to endeavor for my prescribed duties.
Yes.
Okay. So you have to show your enthusiasm and interest in accomplishing it. So that means it's a combination of both. But what is the lamentation aspect, right? So, for example, you bought 100 lottery tickets. Okay. Now, you've been buying this every month. So that means even after 1 year, you never even won lottery also. Okay?
Yes.
You can now lament. How much money I spent, how much I did, so much effort I put. See, Lord never sanctioned. You can lament about it, right?
Yes.
So this is called lamentation. But what you should understand out of this, Lord has given me the opportunity. I endeavored. I put my soul and this thing to accomplish it, but it did not happen. Oh, that means this is the plan of the Lord. I shall not further proceed.
Okay, that is for lottery tickets. Okay, Prabhu.
I just took lottery tickets as an example, anything for that matter. So when we understand this concept, then we understand that there's no more lamentation in my life. That means what? Whether an event or a good thing or a bad thing happens in my life, or it does not happen in my life, both are situations that I will not lament. I will continue to go on performing my duties, and that is my endeavor to reach the final goal of my life. That should be the consciousness.
Okay, Prabhu.
Lord,
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
small story, one person goes and prays in a church, goes on praying, I want to get a lottery prize and all that. But one fine day, Lord slaps him and he says, first you should buy the ticket, then you can get the prize. Like
Okay.
that.
Okay, good.
Class, can you just repeat 5.17 once again? We'll start from that.
The next class, huh? Okay. We generally do recap, so we'll do that recap. So next class, I have a small request. Next class, we need a little bit more time. I need to go till 7:30, or we have to start 5:30 or something like that. Okay, because the next class which I'm going to cover, I cannot cover in parts. You will not get the connectivity, right? So I need so much of time to cover in a continuous single session. So next class, I'm requesting that we need additional 20-30 minutes to cover up. If we cover faster, yeah, we will stop. But if we do not, we have questions, we have doubts, then we need the time. So next class, please be flexible and also be attentively present, so that this one topic will just cross and cover off. Then we'll say, okay, good. Now I know why I'm getting bonded. Now I know what is this metal interaction. Now I know what is Vasudeva position. Now I know Achinta Beda, Abheda Tattva. So like that you will understand. Okay. Okay. So now you know why Mayavadis say Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman. Right? Now you know why they say, right? So now you know what is Dvaitam. So tomorrow, if some wrongly understood Jiva comes and teaches you also, you are not shaken. You're very clear. No, Prabhuji, this is not the way you understand. And you're very clear. You move forward with your bhakti. Right? So because we understand Achinta Beda Abheda Tattva, we understand Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the success for us to go back home, back to Godhead. If we don't understand this, then we really are not taking the advantage of the mission of Lord Chaitanya. That's why this tattva he gave is so important. Okay, and this is why all the the lineage of people after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have an advantage over the other lineages of people, and that's why in Kali Yuga the real dharma is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because that will take you back home, back to God. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thanks for the wonderful class today. I could understand Dvaita very nicely, Prabhu, and Achintya, Abheda, Beda Tattva. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
But
Yes.
And Vishishta Advaita Prabhu, next class, maybe you can tell us the difference.
I did tell this class. You still want more?
I didn't catch it, Prabhu.
Okay, we'll try. We'll see what we can do. Okay. Okay, so let's please read the purports of the 3-4 slokas. You try to read the purports till sloka number 20. You will see your understanding will become really pakka. Okay, so very important part of it that we are discussing. Yeah. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That's it.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.